Good evening, folks, and we welcome you to the live coverage of the 2012 Turkey Bowl Draft. I'm Beans Baldwin, and I'm here with my fellow colleagues Jermaine O'Lew and Hal Brooks, and we also have the anticipated return of Steve Bucket.
That is right, I am back. With how well KTV has been doing lately, they finally decided to offer me my old position back.
All right, folks, before we get started with our live coverage, here comes the commissioner to kick things off.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Commissioner Robert Sebastian. I want to welcome you here for the draft for the Turkey Bowl. I can't believe it, but this is the number 9th time that we're drafting. So I hope everybody will be excited about it, and let's get the drafting going.
All right, let's get this party started. So, what do you guys think of this year's draft class?
In my opinion, I think this is a very, very deep draft class, which means you might get some really good players in the late rounds.
I think it's true that some of the players have potential, but for the most part, I have some serious question marks about a lot of the players in this year's draft.
And it looks like the first overall draft pick is in.
With the number 1 overall pick, Team Omega selects Nick Pleasance, Columbia University.
One pick, baby. Can't say I would completely agree with the first overall pick, but I can see why the team did so. Coming out of college, Nick had great, amazing upper body strength, and he was able to create massive lanes for the running game. He simply overpowered most players in college.
Yeah, I would definitely say this man has all-pro potential, but the thing is, he simply lacks the effort and dedication and awareness to make him truly an elite player. And if you think about his off-field issues, which includes a few run-ins with the law, I don't know, this pick is just a little too high for me.
Yeah, I agree, Steve. I think this pick is too high. You know, Nick has good strength, but he relies on that strength a little too much, and he really lacks the technique that's going to be needed for him to perform at this level. And like you have mentioned, his off-the-field issues are going to be a problem. He was a diva at Columbia, and he's going to be a diva in the pros, and his attitude simply is going to be locker room cancer.
Yeah, definitely.
With the number 2 overall pick, Team Alpha selected Eric Liu, receiver, University of Washington.
Great pick, great pick. This boy, he balls hard. All he does is make heck of plays. I mean, let's look at it this way. He's good on both sides of the ball. And let's not forget about his famous great arm.
Jermaine, I have to say I am not too thrilled with this pick. Eric has been invisible during the regular season. And if he doesn't show up in the regular season, what makes anybody think that he's going to show up for Turkey Bowl? This is just too risky of a pick.
You be lying, man. Hal, come on. You just be hating Hal.
Hey.
With the number 3 overall pick, Team Omega selected Pastor Matt, quarterback, University of Alabama.
I think this is a terrible pick, guys. Matt may look like Peyton Manning, but he plays like Ryan Leaf. And at his age, I don't know that I would be drafting him this high. He has arthritis, makes it very difficult for him to move around in the pocket, and he has a bad history of holding the ball too long in the pocket, which allows rushers to sack him. So I think, with his age and his size, I think it's just too risky.
Now, I don't think I can completely agree with what Hal just said. I think Matt actually brings a lot to the table. He has great size, a great arm, and he's capable of breaking out for big plays if he were to get under pressure. I think Team Omega has a great pick.
And with the number 4 pick, Team Alpha selected Jason, receiver, Seattle Central.
Oh, I see you shaking your head there. What's wrong? What do you think about this pick?
You know what I think? This kid is exactly the kind of player that I just loathe. I mean, he lacks effort. He only gives about 50% of the time. And, I just don't think he's a good pick. I mean, take a look at these clips from the previous Turkey Bowls. As you can see, as the ball is hiked, he just stands there. I mean, what is he doing? Get open for your quarterback. I mean, this kind of play is just not going to cut it in Turkey Bowl. I mean, he has a bad attitude. He acts like he's a celebrity. I mean, who does he think he is? Waka Flocka?
With the number 5 overall pick, Team Omega selected Henry, receiver, University of Washington.
Oh, snaps! That's my boy, Henry. I went to school with him. Team Omega, they're getting a heck of a good player. And this guy, he has a rare blend of size and speed, and he has the ability to be nearly unstoppable. All he do is make touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he has potential. Sure. And, he's got great speed, good size. But this kid is the very definition of boom or bust. Henry has good speed, he has good size, but his hands and his ability to catch the ball are a problem. I think he's the type of player that will show up, have a lot of touchdowns, or just have absolutely no productivity. So I think it's a risk.
With the number 6 overall pick, Team Alpha selected quarterback Steven from the Culinary Academy? Culinary Academy.
I would have to say this is definitely the sleeper pick in this draft. Steven, this man is what I call a dual threat quarterback. And what I mean by that is he can throw just as well as he can run. Now, I know he does have the tendency to throw into double coverage, which is a little almost suicidal. However, he does have the ability to make something out of nothing. Definitely my favorite player.
I really like this player too. Steven's actually a really versatile player, like you pointed out upon. He can do a lot of things on the field, on defense, on the offensive line. If you need a running back, he's there for you. However, I also do agree with you on the fact that I question his decision-making skills. He does have a knack of throwing into double coverage at times.
And the rest of the draft picks for Team Alpha are Alex, Andrew, Gloria, Blocker, Isaac, and Kathleen. The rest of the draft picks for Team Omega are Tim, David, Chris, Diana, Kelvin, and Mary.
Well, that concludes the 2012 Turkey Bowl draft. What do you guys think?
I think the draft turned out very well. Both teams had some really good picks. For Team Alpha specifically, they ended up picking players who have a lot of experience playing with one another. They have a sense of cohesiveness, a sense of being together, like peanut butter and jelly, white rice and soy sauce, Seattle and coffee, spicy food and diarrhea. And if you think about that cohesiveness, I think that is going to be the determining factor for them to play well this year.
Steve brings up a lot of good points here. A lot of people actually always overlook the fact that Team Alpha always plays with each other, and therefore they know their teammates really well. And therefore that allows them to utilize each other that much more on the playing field.
All I gotta say is, this team is hecka fast.
I'm a little unimpressed with these teams this year. When we look at Team Alpha and Team Omega, I see some significant weaknesses in both of them. You look at Team Alpha, and they're undersized. I'm not so sure how they're going to match up with the size of Team Omega. And then when we look at Team Omega, I don't know if their defense is going to be able to cover the speed of the receivers of Team Alpha. Personally, I think that both defenses are lacking, and I think this is going to be a shootout.
I think you actually make a fairly good point, Hal. However, I think you are underlooking the fact that Team Omega does have a lot of fast players on their squad. And also, don't forget about Nick Pleasance, who is still currently undefeated thus far.
Let's not forget here. Team Omega, they be having them first-year players. And David and Tim playing in their first Turkey Bowl, we don't even know how good they are yet. I mean, I guess you could say their unpredictability can make it hard to game plan for, but I mean, can they run? Can they jump? Can they catch? I guess we'll find out.
All very, very good points. And let's also not forget that we have not just one, not two, not three, but 4 girls who are taking part in Turkey Bowl. And you know when 4 girls are playing, the running game will be a major factor.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. Please remember that Turkey Bowl is on Thanksgiving morning at 8 o'clock at Cleveland Field on November 22nd, 2012. I'm Beans Baldwin.
I'm Jermaine O'Lew.
I'm Steve Bucket.
And I'm Hal Brooks.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, folks.
But honestly, I have some serious question marks about most of these players.
Oh, here comes Commander.
You know, he's got arthritis. He's hard to move around in the pocket. And
Good evening, folks. I am Jejun Highway with KTV. I am your weatherman, your financial analyst, event coordinator, and your CEO. I'm here to bring to you the forecast for Turkey Bowl. Well, after much intensive research and with our state-of-the-art technology, which includes an atmospheric pressure precipitation radar, I have the weather for the day. And it is rain.
Steven. Now this man is, hold on.
Hold on.
Take that.
At Cleveland Field on November 22nd, 2012. So please do come and show your support.
What's your name, man?
Behind Beans Baldwin.
Beans Baldwin.
Okay,
this guy walks around like he's a celebrity. I mean, who does he think he is? Waka Flocka?
And for substitutes, Team Omega selected Pastor A. Team Alpha, however, selected Bo Chan.